Still another 2 minutes. Welcome you all attend this 529 education session. My name is Jody and I'm with East West Bank. Today I have the honor to present at the events. Actually, I need to say thank you to Kevin, and he wants me to present this. Since I work with my clients, we did a lot of 529 for them. So I have the pleasure to talk to you. Hopefully, you will get some benefit out of this session. So this is the disclosure. So before we started, let me give you a little bit background about the bank I'm working with. The East West Bank, we are one of the top 10 banker in the United States, and we have lots of branches overseas. We especially work very closely in the Asian community. We provide all kind of service. As an investment advisor, we help people with their retirement, kids' education, wealth transfer. We try to help you guys to save tax, get a better return, and mitigate the risks you take. So today I'm going to present 529 plan. We start from, let you understand a little bit about the financial aid process and the college saving solution. 250 years ago, Benjamin Franklin said, an investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. If I ask you in your lifetime, what is the best investment you have? I guess everyone will come up with different answers. Some people will say, yeah, I'm lucky to bought the Google stock at the IPO, or I just bought the best real estate in the prime city of Manhattan, the best location and the good price. Personally, as a Chinese, we value education very high, and we think it's the best investment is invest in your kids and their future. If you really care about them and love them, and you should do something for them and at least give them a head start. So today I'm go over the value of college education and how much will cost if you send your kids to the college, and the grants and loans savings available to fund the education. Also, how you're going to start a financial aid process and how you're going to save for college, and the impact of saving on the financial aid if you take. Everyone take a guess. What's the value of a college education? Can you give me a number? How much? Well, worse? Like if you don't do any work, if you pay a money in upfront, how much you think you can buy that? Miss? How much you think the value of the education? Just give me like a number you think. Yeah, value, how much worth it? Yeah, you think. Oh yes, pretty close. Your answer is 1 million. Actually, it's 1,180,470. This number comes from U.S. Census Bureau, and they did a survey in 2010. In 2010, the surveys also give you, they do a survey based on the level of the education. It shows you the kids, they don't have a high school diploma, and up to you getting a master's degree. Even the kids with a high school diploma and with the kids finish the master program, their annual incomes doubled. Say during their lifetime, you work 40, 45 years, Every year, the money adds and double the compound if you invest wisely. How much, in a lifetime, your kids will get ahead of most of the kids. And that's the value I hope you can see when you get out of this room. The other thing is, if your kids have a good education, the chance your kids will be more successful in his or her career. If you have a high degree, you get a high education. If you specific trained in a industry, usually you will get a lot of offers. And if you come from Ivy League school, you get a higher chance to be hired by those Fortune 500 company, which means you will get more benefit. The best is you probably will get the best training in the world, because those large company, they have a structure and they want to invest in their people. So it doesn't matter later on you decide still work for that Fortune 500 company or you start your own business. The knowledge you can always take with you. Versus if you, say, leave a $1 million to your kids, and the kids probably never make that money and probably don't understand how money works, most likely he will squander the money because the money comes too easy. There's no effort. So he probably, will spend it. So every parents, we love our children and we want our children to do well. At least we want their futures better than ours. And everyone in this room, I believe you, take education seriously. Otherwise, on a Saturday afternoon, you won't be, sitting here. You have lots of options to do. You can, shopping or, go to a game rather than sitting there and listen to me. And actually, education is a very serious topic. And I want to help you understand the benefit you and your kids will get out of it. So let's talk about how much a college will cost you. So take a guess. I would like to, participate with the audience. Take a guess. Do you think how much a college will cost you? Any guess? Correct. It depends on the public school or private school you go. As a rule of thumb, is like if you go to the private school, you pay a lot higher than the public school. Why you pay higher? Because you get a better care. The public school, they base on the budget, the government, they finance or some other institution, the funds. They usually, the teacher, they have a large classroom. They have lots of kids to take care of it. Maybe your kids doesn't get the needs he or she deserves, or some kids maybe have a little difficulty to learning and need special care. Sometimes it's not available, those. And versus a private school, if you go to Harvard or Stanford, more likely they have a small setting of a classroom, you get more attention, and usually those schools are pretty good in terms of when the kids graduation. Actually, my friend has a son that just graduated from Stanford about 2 years ago, and the difference, I just compare with his kids with me, because when I moved to this country, I take a second degree in a public school. So versus the kids in the public school graduate, the job opportunity versus his, I mean you can't comparison. The first year the bonus he get, the envelope is worth me like I have to work 8 years. So that's the difference. So actually, the cost of the college for a private school costs you $414,311. And the College Board, the survey they did in 2011, and in today's value, if you go to the public college, it will cost you $75,000. So in the next less than 20 years, 2030, it will cost you $255 versus the private school. Today's value, if you go to private school, you send your kids to private school, will cost you $166,000 versus $414,000 in less than 20 years. So the next question is, how I'm going to fund my kids? What the money come from? How I'm going to send my kids go to school? That's the key question. So every parents will ask themselves. They have a grants and loans, and they have a savings, and these three options you can choose. Actually, you can see the majority of the contributor is from the parents' income and savings, and another like 10% is from the parents borrow money. Parents borrow money is 10%, and the parents' income, they come from their W-2, 1099, and their savings account is 37%. It's almost 50%. It comes from the family. Then the scholarship and grants only like 23%. Then the student loans, and then you borrow from your uncles and aunts, and sometimes you don't want your kids, borrow money from your uncle and aunts, and still that shows if you ask the parents, how are you going to pay for it? 60% of parents will say, I will pay from my savings and current income. 48% will say different kinds of loans, can finance education. 8% of the parents would probably take a second loan on their mortgage, home equity loan, and just finance the kids. It's expensive. And let's talk about the common grants, the program you can find. Actually, these are the federal programs. The most commonly is called Federal Pell Grant. And actually, this is the maximum amount per year, $5,550. So even you go to the public school, and